Back when I began my investment journey, I had a lot of money saved up in my checkings account for my part-time work at school and then anything I did before that. But I realized that there had to be a better spot for this money. And as a 21-year-old, I barely had a clue about investing or, matter of fact, financial literacy in general. So I realized it was only going to be up to me to figure out what the heck to do with all of this money that I had sitting in my checkings account. And if you're anything like me, it can feel extremely overwhelming. Like, what the heck is a mutual fund? What's an ETF? What does a market sector mean? What is an MER percentage? I didn't know what any of that meant. So it was up to me to figure it out. Now, fast forwarding to the point in which I learned everything I needed to know.
Almost.
It was time to decide, now how am I actually going to do this? And that's where I discovered problem 2. What the heck is dollar cost averaging? I saw the term DCA everywhere, and I always wondered, what the heck is this? And so I ignored it for too long, and like the impatient boy that I was, and I guess still am, I decided to just put all my money into my 2 funds that I had picked right away. I think I just really wanted to get into the market. And I think a big part of that is just the adrenaline that I was feeling from finally making an adult decision for the first time. And let me tell you, it felt great. And looking back, it's not a make or break number that I put in. So it really wouldn't have made that much of a difference whether I did lump sum investing versus dollar cost averaging. However, I ended up learning about what it truly was after the fact, and that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. Hello, my name is Kyle, and I love to help people with the 4 pillars of human growth: wellness, fitness, finance, and of course, gratitude. In today's video, we're continuing with part 4 of my Know Your Money series, where once you have figured out what brokerage you want to choose to put your investments in and what accounts specifically you need to open, and then finally, what actual funds you want to place your money in, we can now talk about the action of putting your money physically into those accounts and funds. If you would like to see previous videos before watching this one, you can absolutely do so. I have a card right here that links to the previous video, part 3, and parts 1 and 2 you can find on my YouTube page itself. And now I would also like to state that I am in no way a financial advisor. I just want to make you guys more aware to the options that are out there and to maybe help clear up some confusion if you are starting to invest. Warren Buffett and other wealth management firms always suggest to dollar cost average, especially just starting out. But first, let's dissect the differences between lump sum investing and dollar cost averaging, and we can figure out what's best for you and your specific needs after. Now, dollar cost averaging is consistent weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly payments that go into your investment accounts every single month. This is good because they are automatic. You can set this up to happen automatically without your control, so that every time you get a paycheck, a certain portion of that goes straight into your investment account. And as a result of this, it doesn't matter what the market is at, you are going to be buying the same dollar amount of shares every single month, which means if the market is high and everything's super expensive, then you will be buying fewer shares that month. But if everything is super low and therefore super cheap, then you will be buying more shares because you get more for the money that you put in. But the whole idea of dollar cost averaging is after a long period of time, you kind of get the best of both worlds and it averages, like the name implies. One of the only cons is that it might just take you a little bit longer to get into the market if you start out by dollar cost averaging, but that's really not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. Of course, there are going to be a couple more cons to dollar cost averaging, but the majority of them you don't really need to worry about right now. The cons from dollar cost averaging come when you really need to pay attention to the market, which a lot of people, the majority of people, don't want to do. A majority of people just want to put their money away and let it do its thing, which means you may not get the best potential return in short-term gains, pulling your money out when it needs to come out and putting your money in when it absolutely needs to go in. You're kind of missing the highs and low ends there. But for the majority of people, putting your money on a consistent basis is going to win, because if you don't put money in, you aren't going to grow to the same capacity. And for most people, you just want to grow. Now on to lump sum investing. This is going to be the situation that I had, where I had a large sum of money and put all of it straight into the accounts on one day. My idea going into this is that I was impatient and just wanted to kickstart my investment journey. I had the adrenaline, everything was exciting, I was doing something cool for myself, and I put all of my money in. Now, of course, there are going to be pros like this, is that because that was day 1, I had all of that money start to make interest from day 1. But again, I could have dollar cost averaged it out over a longer period of time. Would it really have made a difference? Not really in the long term, but that is what lump sum investing is. A pro to this is that if you choose a low season to invest this lump sum money, you are getting more shares for the dollar amount that you put in. And the equivalent con, of course, is that if you are in a high expensive season, you are going to be purchasing fewer shares for the amount of money that you're putting in. I did forget to mention, of course, that if you are going to experience a decrease in your investment right after making a lump sum purchase, then you may start to panic, especially as an early investor, thinking that you're immediately losing money. But we always have to remember that if you are investing, especially at this age, you are playing a long game. You want to put your money away and not think about it for years and years and years and years. Yes, you still want to be involved. You still want to pay attention to what's going on in the markets, but you never want to panic. You don't want to have to worry about your money. You want to let it do its thing, because over time, everything just grows. If you look at long time periods, 1950s till now, it's only ever going to go up, and it will only ever continue to go up. So as you can see, there are pros and cons to both types of investing, but what's best for you may depend on your situation entirely. If you are young and just starting out your investment journey, you can choose either way. It probably won't make that much of a difference in the long game. If you do decide to lump sum invest like I did, at least your money is out, it's in the investment account, and you no longer have to worry about it. Just set up your automatic payments for the future months and you're good to go. On the other hand, if you do choose to dollar cost average and you would like to put in a higher amount than what your relative number would be once that initial number is gone, so let's say you have $5,000 you want to put away, but you can only make $200 payments after that $5,000 has been allotted, then you can do an increased payment like 5 months at $1,000 to dollar cost average your way, and then change it to $200 investments from there on. So no matter what you choose, it is always important to set up your automatic payment plan so that right after you are paid and the money enters your checking account from your employer, or if you're self-employed yourself, your investment account will automatically withdraw the next day, so it's almost as if you never had that money to begin with. And that sounds scary, I know. But you are buying your independence, and that is what's important. Investing is a long game, and nobody wants to wait 40 years to become a millionaire. So it really starts to make you think, how much faster can you get there? And the answer to that is owning assets, whether it's in real estate, whether it's more stocks, whether it's a business that you have. You got to figure out a way to generate more money, because investments and protecting your wealth there is a wealth system, but your wealth engine, the thing that gets you the money that you're able to invest, you have to figure out how to make more there. And that's going to wrap up the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do have any questions, let me know down below, and also tell me if you have any business ideas that you're looking to start, or if you have recently started your investment journey, what have you invested in? What has been your experience so far? Anyways, again, that's it for me. Take care.